A teenager disappears. Her family begs for answers. But the killer was already inside the house. Innocent, loved, betrayed. When 16-year-old Becky Watts vanished from her home in Bristol, England, in February 2015, the city rallied. Posters went up. Candlelight vigils were held. Her parents pleaded for help. But behind the scenes, a darker truth was unfolding. Becky hadn't just disappeared. She had been murdered. And the killer was closer than anyone could have imagined, her own stepbrother. This is the chilling story of Becky Watts, the teenager whose life was stolen by people who were supposed to protect her. A teenager vanished in broad daylight. No sign of struggle. No known enemies. But what no one knew then, what the public couldn't have imagined, was that the real danger wasn't a stranger. It was family. This is the brutal, heartbreaking story of Becky Watts. Her life was stolen. Her body was hidden. And her trust was shattered by the people she should have been safest around. Part 1. Who was Becky? Rebecca Marie Watts, known to everyone as Becky, was 16 years old when she was murdered. She was bright, funny, shy, but fiercely loyal to those she loved. She had her struggles, like many teens. She battled anxiety and body image issues but was working through them with the support of family and therapy. Becky had dreams. She wanted to work with animals, maybe become a vet assistant. She loved music, spent hours on her phone like any teen, and adored her friends. But behind her quiet smile was a vulnerable girl. And someone noticed that. Not to protect her, but to prey on her. Part 2. The family dynamic. Becky lived in Bristol, England, with her father Darren Galsworthy and stepmother Angie. Her biological mother was still in her life, but Becky stayed mostly with her dad. Angie had a son from a previous relationship, Nathan Matthews. He was 28, 12 years older than Becky. Nathan was quiet, withdrawn, and reportedly had trouble holding down a job. He lived nearby with his girlfriend, Shauna Hall, who was just 21 at the time. To the outside world, the family dynamic seemed uneventful. Not close, but not hostile. Nothing that raised alarms. But Nathan harbored obsession, jealousy, and resentment toward Becky. He called her names. He thought she was spoiled, attention-seeking, and lazy. What he said in court was that Becky disrespected the family. But the truth was far more disturbing. Part 3. February 19, 2015, the day she disappeared. It started like any other morning. Becky was home. Her dad and stepmother had left the house. She was alone upstairs, texting with her friends and lounging in her room. Then, radio silence. At 4 p.m., her stepmother returned home. Becky was gone. Her bedroom was eerily untouched, no signs of a fight, nothing missing, no sound. Her makeup, phone charger, clothes, all there. She had vanished. They called her phone. No answer. They searched the neighborhood. Nothing. The family reported her missing within hours. But by then, she was already dead. Part 4. The investigation begins. Police responded quickly. Search teams were deployed. The media picked up the story. Flyers went up all over Bristol. A 16-year-old girl, missing without a trace. No enemies. No signs of a runaway. The family gave emotional interviews, begging her to come home. But something felt off. Police started looking inward. Part 5. Red flags and behavior. Nathan Matthews and Shauna Hall helped search for Becky. They gave interviews, brought food to the family, even offered to distribute flyers. but their behavior raised red flags. Nathan was emotionless. Shauna kept changing her story. And when detectives pulled their phone records, things unraveled fast. They found disturbing search history: how to kidnap a girl, knock someone out, chloroform them, purchases of gloves, tape, bleach, and saws, bought after Becky's disappearance. It wasn't just suspicion anymore. It was evidence. Part 6, A House of Horrors. A friend of Nathan's gave police access to his shed, an outbuilding behind his property. Inside, they found something unthinkable: suitcases. Inside those, plastic bags. Inside those, the dismembered remains of Becky Watts. She had been suffocated, then cut into over a dozen pieces. Tools used included a power saw, kitchen knives, and a claw hammer. Nathan confessed. He claimed he only meant to scare her. Said it got out of hand. But nothing about this murder was impulsive. It was planned, methodical, and deeply twisted. Part 7, Shauna's role. Shauna denied knowing anything. Said Nathan acted alone. But her phone told a different story. She had been texting about wanting to kidnap a girl. She helped buy the supplies. And she was with Nathan when they disposed of Becky's body. She even helped clean the scene and lied to police during the investigation. Whether she helped kill Becky or just helped cover it up, she was part of it. And that made her complicit. Part 8, The Trial. The trial began in October 2015. Nathan Matthews was charged with murder, kidnapping, and perverting the course of justice. Shauna was charged with manslaughter, assisting an offender, and perverting justice. In court, jurors were shown the full horror of what Becky went through. They heard Nathan's confession. They saw surveillance footage of the couple buying supplies. They read their grotesque texts. The public was stunned. The courtroom was stunned. And Becky's family sat through every moment. Part 9, The Verdict. The jury didn't take long. Nathan Matthews was found guilty of murder. Sentenced to life in prison, minimum of 33 years. Shauna Hoare was found guilty of manslaughter. Sentenced to 17 years in prison. The judge called it one of the most disturbing crimes he had ever seen. And the city of Bristol would never forget. Part 10, The Why. Why did they do it? Prosecutors believe Nathan was obsessed with control. He resented Becky's youth, her freedom, her presence. He was angry, envious, and warped by violent fantasies. As for Shauna, whether manipulated or equally disturbed, she participated. This was not a case of teenage jealousy. It was a cold, calculated murder by people who were supposed to be family. Part 11, Aftermath and Legacy. Becky's family was broken. Her dad struggled to speak publicly for years. Her stepmother reportedly fell into deep depression. But they also fought to preserve her memory. They launched the Becky Watts Foundation, focused on awareness of violence against young women, mental health support, and family betrayal trauma. Becky became a symbol of stolen innocence. Her story a cautionary tale that monsters aren't always strangers. Part 12, Could this have been prevented? There were signs. Nathan had a history of aggression. Shauna had been caught in lies before. And Becky had told a friend she felt uncomfortable around Nathan. But no one thought he was dangerous. No one imagined that her own stepbrother could do the unthinkable. The lesson? We must listen to instincts. And we must protect the vulnerable, even from those closest to them. Becky Watts should have turned 25 this year. She should have had a career. She should have had a life. But her light was stolen by people who were supposed to love her. Subscribe to the Silent Files for more true crime stories that must be heard. Comment below, was justice served in the case of Becky Watts? Could this have been stopped?